the seminarian to be a priest. But what he wanted was to investigate these powers. So he puts me in this school in a seminary, and he is interested. I remember he could call priests and bishops to just sit around me and like investigate and ask me questions, interview me about the powers, about the forces. And
wait, I'm trying to understand. When you say they took you to, so you were in seminary at 12?
At 12.
And what, were you learning the Bible? Were you, so what kind of...
I'm supposed to be like in a normal school, because early of the seminary, you're like in a normal secondary school.
Okay, a normal secondary school, but it's called a seminary. But it's run by what, the church in corporate. Yeah. Okay.
So I am there, and I thought I was now going to be like a student, go learn about the Bible, learn about God, and become a priest. But I realize now
they were just interested in your power.
Just interested in, not even to educate me, they're interested in the powers. So most of the time I am there from the age of 12. That year I'm there. I am living in the same house with a priest.
With the priest.
And every night they come with books, with what to ask me about the spirit world. So they ask me this and that and that. And I enjoy it. I enjoy being in charge. All my life, I always enjoy like to be in charge, to control others. Like there was a deficit in me, and so I'm telling them all the powers. They are writing this, they are like researchers. They are sitting around me.
And this is going on for what, years?
For years, for a year.
So in all that time, you didn't learn anything about Jesus, about scriptures, and you were in a Christian environment, in quotes.
Yes. That's really but I'm not learning about God. I'm learning. I'm not learning.
You're teaching them.
They're teaching from me. So I remember at the end of the year, this bishop and another priest, they told me, we have a scholarship for you. We are going to send you to Europe for training. And so in me, I thought, okay, I needed, but they told me they needed the consent of my father. So my father, that's the first time I'm seeing my father. He came to the school to sign the papers, sign my documentation, because I was now going to be moved from Uganda to go to Europe.
And so with Bavin, so you're 16 now?
No. I'm 13.
You're still 13. Oh, you said 4 years later.
No, 2 years.
2 years later. So, okay.
So I'm 13. And now they tell me you have a scholarship to go and study in Europe. Now, for the sake of the sensitivity of this, I may not mention
where.
But
can you tell us the country?
I was in Italy.
Italy, okay.
In Italy. So I'm sent to Italy for...
At 13?
At 13.
Okay.
And I'm going without my mother. I'm going alone with a group of priests. I remember the 2 priests had come from Italy. They were sent from Italy to come and investigate, interview me, and make a recommendation. So they asked me about the spirit world, about this, about powers, about systems, and they're like, "Wow, how did you know all this? You've never gone to school, you've never gone to a theology or to any university, but you know all the things about the spirit realm, about history, about what? How?" So they say, "Oh, we need to go with you." So they carried me. Now I leave.
So the priests that came from Italy to investigate first, and then they took you with them.
I go with them. They come. They pick me up. We go through Rwanda. They picked another girl there. I don't know why. Who had also strange powers. So we fly from Rwanda to. Now we go through France. We stay there for some time, and that's when I discovered that now I have been being moved from the African witchcraft, the crude witchcraft. Now I'm being initiated into the occult.
Okay, because you said that in the beginning that there's a difference between witchcraft and the occult. Can you just give us a basic definition of what's the difference?
The occult is a system. Actually, it's Satanism, the alliance of those that subscribe to Satan. Most witchcraft is about people's traditions and cultures. The things they do and what they learn. But now this one is literally the worship of
Satan
as a figure. There, in witchcraft about the spirits and the powers. But now then it's like a system, a religion. So when I went there, I'm put in a religious house where what happened there is the worst experience I went through. Because to break my will a second time, I have to be exposed to death and sexual abuse. So I am trained in the occult, but for the 5 years from 13 to 17, 18, almost every day I am molested and sexual abused.
Okay, this part you didn't share in the 2017 testimony I heard. What?
So by men, by priests. So like they have to do that on me. I've written this in my book. That's the most, because they want to pluck out every aspect of me and then use
Wait,
me.
you're saying every day?
Almost every day. For
5 years.
So you during the day, you are like what do you call the altar boys? You know, you are like you put on the
And this is in a religious Christian, in quotes, environment.
So during the day, you are like a trainee being trained to be a priest. So you put on the gown, you attend mass, you do all this. Now, when you go back to the house, what you call the brother's house, you are molested as a boy by these men. They abuse you. They do all kind of things to break you completely.
So my question is, with all the powers you had, could you not use it against them?
Not.
You could not. How come?
Because Satan cannot destroy Satan.
But then you could use the powers to destroy other witches
Who are lower than these ones.
Oh, were these in a higher ranking?
These are in a higher ranking. Because now it's not about the witchcraft and what it's about now, the system, the sorcery system, which rules the world. I may say, which controls all the powers of the world. It's more not just a local witch somewhere. It's now a satanic system that controls the world.
Wow. Okay. So that went on for all these years. And by the time you're what, 17?
17, 18, towards 18.
Towards 18, 19. What happened at that point when you finished?
Actually, my finishing is during those abuses and many years, I also got a mental breakdown. And they took me to a psychiatric hospital for 6 months. And then pumped drugs.
This was in Italy.
Yeah, and psychotic drugs every day, in that I may be completely mad, that I never recover. It's like a way of like, now they're going to use your body, but you're not in your senses. So the 6 months I'm in this hospital, like a psychiatric hospital, they are trying to access information without my will. Like they sedate you and begin to ask you questions. So they're using you to access information, but you're not but the pain you go through, because like when they put you in these drugs, like the antipsychotic drugs, they sedate you, and then also they are molesting you in that state, sexually molesting and abusing you in the hospital. And so all that we go through, they are crushing your soul in order to use your soul to get information that they cannot access. So that's what happened for me all those years, the mental breakdown. So then after the 6 months in that hospital, in the mental hospital, they realized they had not broken my will completely.
So now I'm a bit confused. Why are they trying to? Because you're already giving them information, right? So what were they of the opinion you were holding some things back they wanted, or what? I'm trying.
What I'm still not saying that sometime I've written this in my book. Sometime they discovered that there's a part of them they could not access. It's as if God was involved and sealed a part of my life, that they knew there's something I know, but they could not access it. So to do that, they had to molest me, abuse me, sedate me, drugs, put me on drugs and different things, in order to break me, because there's a part they could say like, we have had different people who have been used, but this one is a bit blocked somewhere. What I'm trying to say that God, in his power, in his ability, preserved me even when I didn't know him. There's a part of me that he kept sealed, because if they had accessed that, maybe it would have been hard for me to come out.
Yeah.
So where are we?
So we're towards 17, 18. You're coming towards the end of your time in this place. Oh, yeah, you're in the hospital. They're trying to break you some more with all these drugs and all these horrible things going on.
Yeah. So I'm there. So they tried to break me and they could not. So they decided to bring me back home.
To Uganda.
To Uganda. Now in that state. So I return home and I go by like a normal child, normal young man, like for 6 months, and then the two priests come back to Uganda to now
From Italy.
From Italy again to when they came to me, now they came with love. Remember the first time this man came to me, he said, I want to be your father. And that is what opened me up. Now, when he said, I want to be your father, I love you as a father, I am your father. The moment he said, I want to be your father, now I had to reveal whatever. Like I opened up all my senses. And then, because I had opened up, so he takes me back. And then that's when he's in there initiating me as a guardian master, because I have openly accepted what they want.
So it takes you back to it.
Now, this time willfully. Because remember, before I was deceived. When I was young, I was taken by my mother. Mm-hmm. When I was taken to Italy, I went not knowing. Mm-hmm. So they could not break my will. Mm-hmm. So they bring me back. He comes to me this time and then he says, I want to be a father. I remember Mr. Father. I want to love you. So he came with love. And for the first time, I felt accepted. Loved, accepted. And now, because he said, I want to be I want to love you. I want to be this to you. I want to do this. You're a good man. So I open up to him. Now he's embracing me as a father, and I'm the baby in me is longing for a father. So when he texts me, then he says, oh, you know what? Okay, now we're not forcing you. You're going to be a guardian master.
So what does that mean in comparison to what you'd been before? Was this obviously sounds like a higher
this is a higher level, but also now you are you're not a servant. You now appear with them. Like now you've come into the ruling circle to decide. So the time you're going to make your guardian master, you return to Africa, because there are always like 5 in the entire continent. You're going to be part of this council of the guardian masters, and you're going to now do our work, our system. You're not going to be in the witchcraft. You're going to be normal. You're going to go to university. You're going to have money. You're going to have an organization. You're going to work with leaders in the nation. You're going to work with them. So like you're going to be like a representative of this system in your country, but in the region. In the region.
It says there's only about 5 in the whole of Africa.
So I'm in charge of the Great Lakes region, another in charge of the Southern Africa, another in the Western, another in Northern, another Sub-Saharan, all these regions. So when they told me, okay, now you're not going to be a slave or a servant. Now you're one of us. You're a leader. You're a great man. And all this. So they ordained me as a guardian master of that system. And they sent me back to Uganda to go and identify 5,000 young people and recruit them. Now, the young people was to find the young people in universities. So I was to go and become a student in the university and identify bright students in medicine, in law, in education, and recruit them in Satanism from the university. So by the time they finish university, they're already recruited. So they go in the marketplace already. For example, this is a doctor, a surgeon, a lawyer, teacher.
Oh, they're agents because they've already recruited and initiated.
But initiated, very educated, so you cannot know. Like you can't say this doctor is a witch or this lawyer is an agent of witchcraft and all this. So my work was to return to Uganda, go to the university, become a student there, identify such students, sponsor them, give them all they need, give them the best education, send them to different universities in the world, return to Uganda and take over the marketplace. So that was my work. Then another work was identify the churches, the men of God who are still not compromised, break their powers, break their marriages, break their businesses, break their churches, destroy them, because they were a threat.
The specific aim was men of God.
Yes, men of God. Attack them, break their marriages, break their businesses, scatter them. And specific ones, like this one, like this one, like this one, like especially men who were not compromised, but also I've observed that men who were committed to prayer, not preaching prayer. But most of my attacks were on prayer ministries, churches that were praying, the churches where we were calling people to fast, to repentance, to holiness. So my work was raise these young people, young girls and young boys. While you're raising them, you're training them also to break churches, to defile men of God, to go into the churches,
Sexual
immorality,
Yes.
take them in there. So kill the fire, because as long as the fire, you've killed the fire of prayer, then we can control a territory. So I was at the university, and I'm doing that, getting young people. How do I get them? Through parties, orgies, organized concerts.
Orgies.
Orgies,
Yeah.
organized concerts, buy them what they need, give them parties and what, drink, give them drugs. And because most of, like in my country, most people are poor. So when a child comes from a poor family, when you bring them like a car, I'm buying you a car, I'm buying you an apartment to live there, you can use them whatever you want.
You were doing all this because you were getting all the money from, I guess, your position.
Yeah, because I remember at that time, my annual budget was like between $500,000 and $600,000
A year.
a year.
You're talking about what, in the 90s?
No, yeah, that's late 90s. That's 96, 97, 98. So that's the money I was getting, because through I could get all the money, but also that could bring the money. People in government, money launderers, and all could bring money to me, because that's the only way they can stay in do their trade if they submit to me. The drug, the dealers, and what they could not, because if they could be arrested by police, but the police now would be part of my system, part of my people. So for them to do all that, they had to bring money. So I had access to money, to powers, to people in authority. So I could have all the means to defile, to deceive, target the young people, especially the bright ones who are good and different. So there's this child who is good, he's bright, he's clever, but has no money. He's coming from a poor family. So you say,
money is a way to entice
I'll pay your tuition, I'll pay your money, I'll get you this, and then they get so excited. Then later, after they are trapped into the money, into the cars, and say, okay, by the way, what you've been getting comes from this one. Now you need to be initiated. And some of them could not say no. You see?
And if they said no,
some of them die or get mad because they've already been initiated without them even
by accepting the money.
By accepting the money, by accepting the sins and all the kind of immorality they get involved in. But also some of them could create scandals around them. Like if you're a lecturer and you create a scandal around you that, they trap you with a girl, then they film you, and they get the scandal to the papers, and then you lose your job. At the lowest, you're losing your job. So we come with a solution. We can stop this. We can help you get back your job, stop the media house from publishing your story. So if you can do what you want.
So now you're, I guess, in your 20s now doing this.
Yeah.
And you're like on the campus, everyone knows your name, you're feared by everyone, you're openly a Satanist, people are scared of it.
Now I'm not hiding it. Now I'm doing Satanism and occultism publicly.
On the campus? What campus?
Makerere University.
Wow.
So I'm doing it on different campuses. I'm organizing parties, I'm organizing all these night parties and whatnot, and I'm doing it public because I had the money, I had the means that I could bring in